I'm Marilyn Barger. I'm the Senior Educational Advisor for FLATE. So FLATE is a National Science Foundation Center for Engineering Technology Education in the state of Florida. We did our homework, our research when we started FLATE, when we started the center, and we wanted to support the advanced manufacturing industry in the state. We gathered up all of the programs that looked like they were supporting manufacturing and talked to them about their curriculum. There were many programs with different names and different focus, and we wanted to unify all of that with the goal of making it easier for industry to understand what the two-year degrees could offer them. The statewide advisory board is brand new. It was part of the current grant that we're operating under right now. And so that's 2 years ago we started this board. It was a vision of Maury Tusi and myself with two goals in mind. One, to raise the visibility of the ET graduates in the state and the skill set that they graduated with for their industry employers. And the second was to continue to build the community that we had built with the colleges to expand that to their industry partners.
I'm Maury Tusi, and I'm the Director of Engineering Technology at Polk State College. The most important function that we can play to satisfy the needs of industry, to identify the skill gaps that is identified by industry members, not by education.
After so many years working with the colleges, I realized that they all had their own advisory boards, very local, very focused.
Every single member of industry advisory board are employers of our students. So they know exactly what we have produced and what our weaknesses are, and they can remind us what to do, what not to do.
I'm Concham Pavanarath. I'm with Pilot One, and I'm the Director of Operational Technology. So I'm on the Industry Advisory Board, working with Polk State, and what we do is I either send my students, my new employees for upskilling, or we look for graduates from Polk State, because I think we align very well. Because the reason why I get involved is to make sure that Polk State provides the students I need and educates them in the right areas for exactly what we need in the industry and where I see technology going.
So Con was provided, his contact was provided to me. He has served in our industry advisory board for the last 8 years. Manufacturing industry and technology is evolving, and we constantly need to update our curriculum. The best way to update our curriculum is to receiving input and feedback from industry.
I think the partners and the colleges seem to feel like that's a good idea and has a lot of value to get a statewide kind of endorsement of our curriculum and engagement of the industry.
Hi, I'm Dean Bartles, CEO of the Manufacturing Technology Deployment Group based in Clearwater, Florida. It's really interesting. I believe it's the first one in the country that the state of Florida has this statewide Industry Advisory Board for Engineering Technology programs. I believe is going to have a significant impact. Now you have the collective wisdom of various industry representatives across various disciplines to be able to provide the input that the community colleges desperately need to make sure they tailor their curriculum to fill this desperate void that we have.
And the process with the curriculum, I think we were successful just because I got the faculty to work through what was needed and what wasn't needed, and I think we have a good product without having to make a whole new program.
Well, I'm Sam Ajlani. I'm an associate professor and program manager for the College of Central Florida's Engineering Technology program. We went out into the field to build those bridges with manufacturing. We started seeing robots everywhere. We became what we call a FAST Center, FANUC Authorized Satellite Training Center. And then we can train just like FANUC can. And that's kind of where the robots got developed and started moving in. What we're looking at with this is we want to develop our programs and modernize them, keep them as modern and up to date as we can. What we as a group of ET programs want to do is keep up with the latest, greatest. So we pulled a bunch of people together, a bunch of statewide industry folks and educators together, surveyed everybody, talked with different groups, and found out what we had in our programs that worked with it and what we were missing in our programs. And we found out we're missing a few things in our programs in order to meet the industry need of moving into Smart Factory 4.0.
I think the students that are coming out with PLC knowledge, having experience with authentic robots, having experience with just basic levels of programming PLCs and understanding of PLCs, actuators, drive motors, controllers, and things like that. I think when you come into our production floors, you see all of that, right? So they're not afraid of it. They're not wondering what it does and why it's there. They automatically go in and what is it doing for the business, why it matters, and they move at a much faster pace.
Hi, I'm Sid Martin. I'm the program director for engineering technology at St. Petersburg College. I've worked on the aspect of the grant that had to do with the development of an automation subplan. In engineering technology, there are many different areas that an individual could study. So one area could be CAD, another area might be electronics. And so what we had found is that industry was asking for individuals who understood how equipment worked on the manufacturing floor that was more on the automation side.
One of the things we talked about was how do we bridge the gap between the IT guys who run the Ethernet networks and the automation guys who are familiar with their PLCs, their SCADA systems, and things like that in a new world of IT-OT convergence.
And what we found were there were things they were asking for, such as receiving data, analyzing data, storing that data, how equipment might communicate with each other so that they could pass a component from one system to the next. And though we had robotics and we taught how equipment runs, we didn't really talk about how a manufacturing cell may work together. And because at St. Petersburg College we have a rather large advisory board, we were able to help support the efforts that were done by some of the other individuals who were co-PIs on this grant.
And the deal is we're adding curricula back in to the engineering technology programs across the state in order for us to meet the demands of what's coming up in industry.
And that also helps solve some of what companies have as far as what do these engineering technicians do and what do we call them? And what we're finding is it falls under one umbrella that we're calling automation or automation engineering technologist.
I'm Andres Cárdenas. I'm faculty here in engineering technology and I teach electronics and mechatronics. The companies here in Florida are small companies, but we also have bigger companies. Both of them, small companies and large companies, utilize what we say automation, right? You want a Coca-Cola company that puts bottles and then you have to fill them, you know, they all require a PLC to do this type of stuff. So pharmaceutical companies, food companies, defense companies, they all utilize PLCs if the process is automated.
So manufacturing is desperate to find ways to still be able to increase their efficiencies and increase their output with fewer workers simply because there aren't enough workers available.
The automation technician has the ability to take that blue wire or that computer that is on the edge of the informational technology network, well, connect it to the manufacturing floor.
A new graduate coming into the manufacturing space would be a little more have a little more knowledge so that they can speak to the IT department that runs the networks and things like that, so that they can have a better conversation so they can move faster. Because in today's world where things are changing so much, you're starting to see an older generation who's retiring, you're starting to see a new generation come in. So how do you take those years of experience to overlay that?
I'm very excited, first of all, to be part of this whole movement because as I've toured many of the community colleges, and for that matter, some of the four-year universities, you go into their manufacturing labs and what you typically find is an old Bridgeport mill, a drill press, and a welder. So we're very excited about getting community colleges programs more of the more advanced things like robots and cobots various types of automation equipment, also IoT edge devices, AR, VR, 3D printers. You know, these newer so-called Industry 4.0 technologies are critical for the new jobs that the industry is looking for.
The big advantage in the state of Florida is that there is a 4-year program that's available that's almost completely online. The nice thing about is you can get your AS, you can then go for your BS and complete that online and have it be part of an ABET accredited degree. There's a complete pathway from initially getting certificates to getting the AS degree to going on to the BS degree, which then allows you to be licensed if that's what you decide to do.
So they can move from one college to another and take what they had with them and continue their education if they decided they wanted to do a specialty that was only offered in another college in the state. When they do graduate, they can all go to get a bachelor's of engineering technology. That is offered at Daytona State College that we have great articulations with from all of these 2-year AS programs.
My name is Ron Eglin. I'm a professor here at Daytona State College, and I originally came here to set up the Bachelor of Science of Engineering Technology. Bachelor of Science of Engineering Technology is a 4-year degree. However, at the state colleges, we use a +2 model. So students that have a 2-year degree, like an AA or an AS, can get a 4-year degree in engineering technology by coming here and completing the degree program.
Well, at one time, so we did this consolidation of the degree program. And what that means in Florida is we align the standards and benchmarks. The statewide program is just a list of standards and student competencies. But what courses are used to transfer that knowledge to students is all over the place. Different colleges use different courses.
So my involvement in that, especially since I'm actually in the BSET program, was to make sure that we had a clear path for students that are coming out of AS degree programs to be able to continue with the BS degree programs. So the AS degree programs, which are 2-year degrees, can flow seamlessly into a 4-year degree program. So we admit a lot of students from CFC and Polk State and St. Pete, all of the 2-year offering degree programs, to come here and let those students actually get a 4-year degree. And there's a lot of advantages to getting that 4-year degree. And we make it so that it's really easy for those students to do.
So it worked out great, and setting up the board was really good statewide for us. And then with this grant, we couldn't have done that without this grant. So it was excellent all the way around. And developing new technology and setting up a statewide board and helping us develop a new program that will tackle some of these things we're not seeing in our existing curriculum.
The number one factor to our success is our ability to communicate. And in the early days when FLATE came about, that was the NSF grant way back when, 20 plus years ago, that said, hey, let's develop a way to coordinate this. They were successful, and they were able to get us all to communicate and all start operating in the same way, to share materials, to look at how our classes are going to be common. And we've since just carried that forward, and now it's just the way that we do business.
I think our project's been successful. I honestly wasn't that sure that we'd be able to pull off the statewide board. It's not been done anywhere else in the country, and Florida's a big state, you know, there's 20-some schools, and there seemed like a lot of barriers to getting that and making it successful, but we managed to do that. For more information, visit us at flate.org, where you can find more information about the colleges that have the ET program, our SETI app, our statewide board, and also there's a lot of resources for engaging with students to recruit them into manufacturing.